All right, how we doing? Good day today. Third down, red area. Obviously, Washington State, especially on defense, presents a lot of challenges with their presentation on third down. A lot of guys dropping out from the line of scrimmage, some exotic pressures. So good for us to get a look at those early. And then they do a good job, really with the perimeter game on offense and extending plays with their quarterback play. So a lot of our focus today, still really at the end of the day, focusing on fundamentals for us and what we can improve on. That being said, we can open it up.
Got us all in suspense on this pressure kickoff. What is that?
You're just trying to create some moments for our guys in practice that are similar to games, right? And we want to be more consistent with our placement and kicks. We're going to try to be creative in creating those moments in practice.
Was today the first time you guys have done that, or is that just something that we haven't seen in open period?
We've done some pressure situations before. It's probably the first time I guess you guys were out there for it.
Is it at all difficult to game plan for their quarterback when a lot of his tape is at an FCS level?
No, he's a good quarterback, right? Good football is good football, and he's got fast delivery. And we've talked as a defensive staff, he's like a shortstop at times, the way he's able to get the ball out really quick. But no, good play is good play.
How did you spoke to kind of the difficult environment you're going to go into. You haven't experienced that before.
I've been up there once when I was a graduate assistant and at Arizona State. I know they're passionate fans. I think that every one of us knows that. We've talked about the false starts that their environment can create, some of the stuff that they've done in the history of their program there. So it's a good environment. We all know that.
Is it comparable, do you think, to Starkville?
Say it
without
again?
the cowbells? Is it like a Starkville without the cowbells?
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long since I've been there. But, again, I do think it's a unique atmosphere. But, yeah, that might be a fair comparison.
What have you been trying to do to eliminate potentially some of those false starts with your team?
We practice with a lot of crowd noise, making ourselves communicate a little bit earlier in that process. But that's been part of what we've done this week.
There was a time against BYU where at a punt return you guys had two returners back there. Is that something you guys do often, and what's the philosophy back there?
There's a lot of different thoughts. One, it creates them. They have to have a plan for it. Also, has a chance for us to put dynamic playmakers on the field and create possibly explosive returns if we get the opportunity. But it's game plan oriented.
We saw Alex Bales punt today. Just what went into that decision, and what have you seen from him in that area?
Yeah, we try a lot of guys at a lot of different positions, and we're going to continue to evaluate and create competition within our roster.
How are Byron and Justin doing? We've seen them
Not really going to talk. I mean, they're practicing, but I'm not going to talk about injuries right now.
What was the process of auditioning a fullback? Oregon's offense hasn't used one in a while, but you settled on a couple tight ends. Was that just because they present the possibility to catch the football, or what kind of went into that?
Just whoever we thought would do the best at that job in the role that we were using them for. So Pat did a really good job, in that role, understands what we're trying to get accomplished, and as that grows for us, he can continue to do a good job there.
How does this receiving group compare, just in terms of just size and overall athleticism, since they turn to so many different weapons?
Talking about Washington State, yeah. The one thing is they're big, especially outside, 6'3". They've got good size. And obviously they use them well in the perimeter. They really create run plays with their perimeter passing game. The way they block, the way they attack on the edge. So that'll be a good challenge for us.
We talked about how their ability to get the ball out quickly. From a defensive standpoint, what's more important? Is it the coverage down the field then, in that case, or is it the pressure getting to them quick?
It depends on what the play is, right? If the ball's down the field, it's the coverage down the field. If it's the ball out on the perimeter, it's the ball on the perimeter. It's the ability to play multiple plays, right, and simple defensive calls.
Keith Brown's gotten obviously quite a bit of playing time the last few weeks. What have you seen from him recently? Kind of improvements in his game?
I think Keith would tell you he practiced really well, and he got some opportunities because he practiced really well and he carried over. He's a young player that's growing, and as he continues to grow in practice and game experience, then he'll continue to grow in his role.
How well do you feel like the defensive line's done at knocking balls down at the line of scrimmage? If you can't get to the quarterback, that's another way to impact things.
Yeah, I think it's important in games like this, quick games, when the ball is getting sprayed out quick, that's really important. I think we can improve there, but we're certainly working it, and it's shown up in practice. So if it shows up in practice, it's going to show up in a game.
Tony certainly knew of Jordan quite well before he came out here, but he had those limited opportunities at Nebraska going back a couple of years. He's played a lot for you guys. Just how much of what you knew and what to expect from him is matching up, or is he even exceeding what you could have thought of?
We knew what kind of player Jordan could be. There's still a lot of areas for growth for Jordan, but he's done a good job of contributing for us and will continue to grow as a player. He has some things that people don't have. He has size. He has this build that people don't have. And, we had high expectations for him. He's certainly reaching those expectations, but the expectation continues to move the more you contribute.
How would you assess your growth as a coach in a game management standpoint for your first 3 years or 3 games here?
Probably too early to evaluate. I still have a lot of opportunities to grow. Certainly not satisfied with where I'm at right now. I can continue to get better.
What have you seen from Triquez, Gillo, and those guys this week?
Competition, right? They've gone out there each day. We're looking to play balls when they're in the air, being tighter in coverage at the finish. See that at times, see it not there at times, right? Looking for some consistency in that.
You're talking about the false starts, Dan. There was a play last week. It was an unusual spot about the smooth snap. I meant to ask Alex about it, but I haven't looked up the rule here. What exactly is the?
It was obviously that it wasn't intentional, right, to be a smooth cadence where the ball was actually released, so they're going to call that a false start.